Good morning, grade 11 students. In this video, we're going to continue with our chapter related to genetics. And in this session, we're going to start to study about the karyotype. First of all, what is a karyotype? The karyotype is the arranged set of the chromosomes. It's a group of chromosomes. They are arranged. So the arranged set of chromosome is called the karyotype. Here is the karyotype. The karyotype here, they are arranged according to a specific criteria. As you know, you have 23 pairs from pair number 1 to pair number 23, which is the sex chromosome or the gonosome. So the arranged set of the chromosomes is referred to the karyotype. How are the chromosomes arranged in the karyotype? كيف هن arranged in the karyotype? First of all, you have to know that the chromosomes are arranged as pairs. So every chromosome number one, pair number two, pair number three, pair number four, and so on. So they are arranged according to three different criteria. This is, you have to study them. You have to know what is the criteria of the arrangement of a chromosomes in a karyotype. So they are arranged according to or decreasing order of size, from the bigger to the smaller, to the position of the centromere. What is the position of the centromere? Centromere is the attachment site of the two sister chromosomes. This is called the centromere, and according to the banding pattern. So we have three different criteria for the arrangement of chromosomes. They are arranged to the decreasing order of size, and we have to study this according to the position of the centromere and according to the banding pattern. What do you know about the chromosomes? What are the different types or different things? We have first the gonosomes and not the jonosomes. Gonosomes, they are the sex chromosomes. From their name, the sex chromosomes, they determine the sex of the individual, whether it's a male or a female. So the gonosomes, they are the X and the Y. So these are the sex chromosomes. So X and Y, they are the sex chromosomes, and they are called the gonosomes. If it shows 2X, if we have XX, so this belongs to a female. So this is for a female. While if it shows an X and a Y, so the sex chromosome, they are XY, so it belongs to a male or to a boy, which is the same. So from now on, what are the gonosomes? They are the sex chromosomes. They determine the sex of the individual, whether it's a male or a female. If it shows two X chromosomes, so it belongs to a female. If it shows an X and a Y, so it's XY, so it belongs to a male. So whenever we see the Y, it's a male. Even though we have X, X, Y, and we're going to talk about this case, whenever we have X, X, Y, so simply whenever we have Y, so it's for a male. Okay? Whenever we have the Y, so it's for a male. This is the first type, which are called the gonosomes or the sex chromosomes. Now, I'm going to move to the autosomes. Autosomes, they are all the chromosomes except the sex chromosomes, which are the gonosomes. So in the human, we have 22 pairs of autosomes, numbered from number 1 to number 22, while the pair 23 is for what? Is for the gonosomes, whether XX or XY. And here I'm talking about the normal individual and a normal karyotype. So from now on, the chromosomes, they are divided into autosomes and gonosomes. Autosomes, they are from pair number 1 to the pair number 22. So they are about 44 chromosomes. How did I get 44? They are pair. So 22 as pair, so to 22 times 2. So we have 44 chromosomes, which are the same as 22 pairs. While the 23rd pair number 23, it's for the gonosomes. It determines the sex of the individual, whether it's a male or a female. So from now on, you have to know that whether you have a karyotype, whether you have an XX, so it's for a female, whether you have an XY, so it's for a male. How can we determine this? From the karyotype. Let's move to the karyotype. This one is a colored one, is a beautiful one. The karyotype, it's showing the karyotype of a haploid or a diploid. Justify your answer. Yeah, let's see. Karyotype, this one, the colored one, it's for a haploid or for a diploid. Raising your hands, please. This is for a diploid or a haploid. And justify your answer. Yes, Ren?
It is haploid because we have 22 karyotypes.
Okay,
It's gonosome, not autosome.
first of all, my question is this karyotype belonging to a diploid cell or to a haploid? Diploid or haploid?
قلت لك haploid.
Haploid. Why?
Haploid.
Why?
Because it belongs to the gonosomes.
Because it
22
belongs to the
يعني.
chromosome 22. Okay, okay, thank you. Let's see. Others, what do you think? What do you think, Mahdi? Diploid or haploid?
ده تفكيري أستاذ.
No, doesn't need.
آه شو؟
It doesn't need things. It's already, it's clear. It's whether a haploid or diploid. First of all, you said that the
دايبلويد يا
diploid,
أستاذ.
we have two copies of each chromosome. While
آه
haploid, Yaran, we have one copy of each
صح.
chromosome. Here we have Ran, one copy of each chromosome or two copies of each chromosome.
تو.
Two
2.
copies, right? So this one belongs
Yeah.
to a diploid. So chromosome number one, we have two copies, two, three, four, five. While if it's for a haploid, instead of having two copies, we will have one copy of each chromosome, meaning that, for example, this one is cancer, let's see. So we have one copy of each chromosome, and this one will be for a haploid. But instead, we have two copies of each chromosome, so it's for a diploid. Okay, then?
Okay.
Okay, so we have two copies of each chromosome. So this one belongs to a male or a female. What do you think, Cynthia? For a male or female, justify your answer.
Male one,
Male one,
because
justify.
the 23rd
Yes.
pair is XY, it's not XX.
So because it has XY as gonosomes or as sex chromosomes. So whenever it have XY, so it's for a male.
Male.
So immediately it's for a male. Okay? Moving for the second karyotype, this one. This karyotype belongs to a male or a female. Justify your answer. What do you think, Yusuf? Male or female? Yes, Yusuf? Okay, let's move to Muhammad Hassan. Thank you, Yusuf. Let's move to Muhammad Hassan. What do you think, Muhammad? Male or female? This karyotype, the second one. Muhammad Hassan, good morning. Okay, great. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. So we have this karyotype. We have this karyotype. We have two copies of each chromosome. Yes, Lane, you can answer if you want.
Male, since it has XY.
So we have XY as sex chromosome. Thank you, Lane. So we have XY as sex chromosome. So this one belongs to a male. It's diploid or a haploid. Sure, it's diploid since we have two copies each chromosome. So moving to the chromosomal formula. Chromosomal formula for the normal diploid cells. So pay attention for the normal diploid. Normal diploid, always we have 2n in human, I said. Here I'm talking about human. So 2n is equal to 46. Always and always 2n equal to 46. The normal, okay? And underline the word normal. So 2n is equal to 46. If it's a male, simply you have to put comma, x, and y. Or if it's for a female, you have to put 2n equal 46, comma, XX. So from now on, this is the chromosomal formula. You have to put 2n equal 46, comma, XY if it's a male, or 2n equal 46, comma, XX if it's for a female. This is for the normal diploid cell. Here I'm talking about human. While if it's for a haploid cell. Haploid cell, 1n equal to 23, comma, x, or 1n equal to 23, comma, y. Here, y it comes only from the male. So here, for example, we have the male gamete and the female gamete. 1n equal 23, comma, x. Haploid cell, they are only the gamete, the sperm, and the ovum, the egg cell. So here we have 1n equal 23, comma, x, or 1n equal 23, comma, y. This will be the case of what? 1n equal 23, comma, x for the sperm or the ovum. What do you think? Let's move to you students. I need Honey, what do you think? 1n equal 23, comma, x. It comes from the male sperm, male gamete or the female gamete, the sperm or the ovum.
The female gamete.
Female gamete, and meaning that is from the ovum only. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, what do you think 1n equal 23, comma, y? It comes from where? Yes, yeah. Needs new students. I need new hands. Joel, what do you think? 1n equal 23, and it gives sex chromosome as Y. So it belongs to a male gamete or a female gamete. What do you think? Joel is not here, I think. She left the meeting. Let's move to Tala. What do you think, Tala? Male or female?
It's from the male sperm.
So meaning that sperm is the male gamete, the sperm. Okay? It's from the sperm. Fine. Let's pay attention here. First of all, what are the sex chromosomes, Yahani, of the female?
XX.
Very good. XX. While that of the male?
XY.
XY. So what are the chances to give X for the female?
100%.
Yeah, 100% is going to be 1n equal 23, comma, X. This is true. While for the male, it has 50% and 50%, right?
Yes.
So it can be 1n equal 23, comma, X, or it can be 1n equal 23, comma,
Y.
Y. So this is for both the male or female. So it can be both. Okay? But the Y is only specific for the male. So that you don't give birth to, for example, to boys. تقول انه مرته هي اللي ما بتجيب البويز. And the problem is not from her side, the problem from his side. He is going to decide whether to give X or Y. So the problem is not from the female side, whereas the problem is from the male side. يعني مهدي شاطر فيهم هدول القصص اللي بيحضر مسلسلات كتير وباب الحاره اللي بيطلق مرته كمان ما بتجيب صبيان. So the problem is from his side and not from her side. So who the one who decide to give the Y as a sex chromosome? Okay? So who is the one who can detect or can determine whether to give an X or a Y? So the problem is from his side and not from her side. Okay? Since the female and the female gamete is the ovum, it has XX. So the possibility to give an X, it's 100%. It can't give other than X since it has X and X. While the male, it has heterozygous, if you can say, for the sex chromosome, for the gonosomes. So you can have X and Y. So it has possibility 50% to give an X as a sex chromosome and 50% to give an Y. So here 1n equal 23, comma, X, it can be from the ovum, female gamete, or from the sperm, the male gamete. So it has both chances. While 1n equal 23, comma, Y, sure, it's for the sperm and exclusive for the sperm. So اللي بيطلق مرته كمان ما بتجيب صبيان، هيدا المشكل مش منه، مشكل منه. So هي لازم تطلقه. Okay? So here I'm talking about the chromosomal formula. So from now on, chromosomal formula, always and always and always and always. In the normal case, 2n equal to 46 in the case of diploid. 2n equal 46, comma, XX or XY. In the exam, it depends on the question, it depends on the karyotype. Whether it's for a male, so it's XY. It's for a female, it's going to be XX. So always 2n equal 46 for what? For the diploid. And pay attention, diploid, 2 copies of each chromosome. Whereas, whenever we talk about the haploid, in the case of human, 1n equal to 23. Why I'm focusing on the case of a human? because of the case of other animals, chimpanzee and others, we have 2n equal 48, we have 2n equal 50, 2n equal 60, and so on. So we have different number of chromosomes. Okay, so 1n equal 23. If it's a female, it's going to be X, or if it's a male, it can be 1n equal 23X or 1n equal 23Y for the male. So it depends. So here, the male is the one who decide the sex of the embryo, whether it's a male or female. If it donates the X, so it's going to be X meeting with the X, so it's going to be a girl. Y, if it donates Y and Y, so both of them, they will be X, and the Y, so it will be XY, and the result will be a male. Okay, so this is everything related to first about the karyotype. We said the karyotype, how can we determine? We know what the meaning of autosome and what the meaning of gonosome. Also, we determine the chromosomal formula. From now on, I'm going to ask you about the chromosomal formula. Let's move now to the chromosomal abnormalities. Chromosomal abnormalities, they are classified under two categories: the chromosomal numerical abnormality and the chromosomal structural abnormality. Today I'm going to focus about the chromosomal numerical abnormality. So the abnormality at the level of the number of the chromosomes. So let's pay attention to these properties. Chromosomal numerical abnormalities, they are abnormalities that affect the number of the chromosomes. So maybe there is an extra chromosome, في chromosome زايد, or maybe there is a missing chromosome, في chromosome ناقص. Most of you know that whenever we have an extra chromosome, this is the case of trisomy. So we have 3 copies of pair number 21, trisomy 21, Down syndrome or Turner syndrome. We're going to talk about this in details. Tetrasomy, or a case of Klinefelter syndrome, I'm going to talk about it in the coming slides. Or maybe there is a missing chromosome. There is a missing chromosome. There is a less chromosomes than the normal, like the case of monosomy or the case of Turner syndrome. Yes, Cynthia, your question is?
طب أستاذ is
English, please.
if
Yes.
if they have an extra, if a human has an extra chromosome or
Yes.
a missing chromosome,
Yes.
there's no chance that the human might turn out normal إنه لازم إجباري يكون في deficiency.
Deficiency مش deficiency, to be more exactly, not called a deficiency, it's called anomaly or abnormality. So they have abnormality. We're going to talk about this in details in the coming slides. So wait 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm going to talk about that. Okay, Cynthia?
Sure.
Okay, Rana, your question is, before we continue?
Can you go back to the previous slide?
Previous slide? Yes. Talking about which one? About this one?
Yes.
What do you want from this?
Thank you.
So you can have them. Already you have them as lecture notes, Rand. So abnormalities affecting the numbers. Either we have an extra chromosome or we have a missing chromosome. So either we have 1 chromosome extra or 2 chromosomes extra, or we have a missing chromosome. So let's move to talk about these cases. First, this is the karyotype. This is the karyotype of an individual having 3 copies of chromosome number 21. So 3 copies, so we have an extra chromosome. All of them from chromosome number 1 to chromosome number 23, which is the sex chromosome, we have 2 copies of each chromosome, unless pair number 21. So pair number 21, it has 3 copies of chromosome number 21. So here we have an extra chromosome. So this case is called, since we have 3 copies, it's called the trisomy. So trisomy at the position number 21, so it's called trisomy 21. It's called the Down syndrome. Okay? So here, this is Mongolism, Rubicon, Czechoslovakia, and so on. So here, this abnormality is affecting what? Raising your hands to answer this question. This abnormality is affecting the autosomes or the gonosomes. And justify your answer. Yes, Ram?
It's affecting the autosomes.
Autosomes.
Because,
Since chromosome number 21.
All the chromosomes are sex chromosomes.
Okay, so they are
21.
Exactly. So it affects the chromosome number 21. So this abnormality is called autosomal abnormality. So maybe I'm going to ask you in the quiz and in the exam, what is the type of this abnormality? You have to say it's an autosomal abnormality, okay? Or it's autosomal mutation, but I prefer to say autosomal abnormality. So first, it's an autosomal abnormality. First of all, normal case. What is the number of chromosomes? Yeah, I want a new hands and new voices. I want to hear Nada Hariri. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, the normal number, Yanada, for the chromosomes. The chromosomal
It's
formula number 2n.
2n equals 46.
Excellent. 2n equal 46. This is the normal. And sure, this is for a diploid cell. Okay, since we have 2 copies of each chromosome. Here, we have an extra chromosome on pair number 21. So it's not 2n. It's going to be 2n plus 1. Okay, 2n plus 1. But here we added to the 46 1. So it will be what? It will be 47. Either XX or XY. Here is the general formula of the trisomy 21. This one is the general formula for the trisomy 21. Either XX or XY. In this case, Yanada, it's XX or XY.
XY.
XY, so we will eliminate this. So it will be 2n plus 1 equal 47, comma, XY. Why did we write XY? Here they are the sex chromosomes. They are as XY. So this belongs to a male or female, Ya Mahdi? Thank you, Nada. What do you think, Mahdi? It's for a male or female? مهدي خطفوه شكله. Okay, what do you think, Yalin?
اللي يا أستاذ عم باكل.
عم تاكل. It's for a male or female?
Male.
Male. Why? Justify your answer.
لأنه يعني male.
Why? Because we have the sex chromosomes as
XY يا أستاذ.
XY, so it belongs for a male since we have the sex chromosomes as XY. Thank you. Moving now to the next figure. Next figure, it's the monosomy. Monosomy meaning that we have a missing chromosome. Here in this figure, we have chromosome number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till chromosome number 23. So all of them, they exist in 2 copies, except for chromosome number 7. So chromosome number 7, we have a missing chromosome. So this is called monosomy. Monosomy meaning that we have 1 chromosome on the pair number 7. This monosomy meaning that we have 1 chromosome on the pair number 7. So this is the monosomy. So we have 2n minus 1 equal, normal case is 2n equal 46. So we subtract 1. So 2n minus 1 equal 45. And in this case, we have the sex chromosome as X and Y. So it's for a male. Okay? Sometimes I'm not going to write the X and Y under the karyotype and pay attention to this. Sometimes I'm going to erase this. How can you determine that whether this is an X or a Y? So one of them is large, let's say, and the other one is small. So sure, they are not the same. Either they are X and Y. While if both of them, they have the same size, approximately the same size. So both of them, they have the same size. So both of them, they are X's. So it's for XX and become a female. So you have to pay attention because mostly I'm not going to give you the X and Y under them. So you have to know whenever we have different shapes, one is small and one large, so this will be for X and Y. 2 large, both of them, they are the same, so it's going to be XX. Some of you are going to ask me, Mr., what about YY? It can't be YY? Sure, it can. Why? Because you can't have 2Y as a sex chromosome. Okay, so here we can determine this. So whenever we have monosomy, so it's 2n minus 1 equal 45, comma, it's XY. In this case, maybe it's going to be XX. So this is the second case. And this abnormality is affecting the chromosome pair number 7. So it's autosomal or gonosomal abnormality. What do you think, Fatima Hamza? Affecting the autosomes or the gonosomes? Gonosomes or autosomes, Fatih Hamzi? What do you think?
أستاذ
Yes?
قالت لي فاطمة قال لك إنه الميكروفون مش ماشي.
Okay, no problem. You can answer instead of her.
أوكي شو كان السؤال يا
It's an
أستاذ؟
autosomal abnormality or gonosomal abnormality.
هيدي autosomal abnormality.
So autosomal abnormalities affect the chromosome pair number 7. So pay
7.
attention to this note before we continue in the coming slides. Pay attention. Whenever the abnormality affect the autosomes, this means that this individual has no problem in the fertility. It's fertile. So it has no problem in fertility, meaning that it can give birth to children. يعني في يجي أولاد. That's why it's called fertile individual. While if the abnormality affects the gonosomes or the sex chromosomes, so this is going to be a problem in fertility and will lead to the sterility. Okay, that's why individuals having trisomy or monosomy, they can get married and they can give birth to individuals. Why? Because their abnormality affects the autosomes and they are fertile and not sterile. Yes, Ran, your question is before we continue.
إذا انضرب الأوتوزوم وطلع
English.
بالكيس تبعت المانجوليزم
English. If we
الأوتوزومز
have abnormality in the autosomes, and this will
we
lead to the
have
Down
in
syndrome.
the case of mangolism.
Yes, they can give birth. It's normal.
He married a wife which has no problem.
They can
Children
give.
لازم يطلعوا لازم
No, no,
إنه they
no.
will be
It's not. It's not 100%. It depends. They don't have.
children will not
Yes. Did you hear your question?
قلت لك okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So there is no chance 100% to give a child with a trisomy or monosomy. Okay, this depends on the case. So here they don't have any problem in fertility if the abnormality affect the autosomes. Moving now to Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome. From now on, you have to know the Klinefelter syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome is an abnormality that affects the gonosomes. Here, the gonosomes. So the chromosomal formula, we have an extra chromosome. So we have two large and one small. So two large, they are X, and the one is Y. So chromosomal formula, we have an additional chromosome. So it's 2n plus 1. It's equal to what? Equal to 47. Comma, what are the sex chromosomes? They are X, and Y. So this is the abnormality affecting the gonosome. So this individual has a problem in fertility, sterile individual, because it has a problem in the gonosomes, which are the sex chromosomes. So here are the questions and the note that I mentioned here in the live session. They are very important for your quiz and for the questions in the quiz. So here, individual abnormality in the sex chromosome. It's Klinefelter syndrome whenever we have XXY as sex chromosome. So it has the same formula, 2n plus 1 equals 47, comma, XXY. So the Klinefelter syndrome, you can study, this is the chromosomal formula. So whenever I ask for the chromosomal formula, you have to give it. It's sterile individual because the abnormality affects the gonosomes and not affecting the autosomes. So this is the case here in the Klinefelter syndrome. All what we have taken here, the chromosomes, the abnormalities that affect the numbers. Also, we have here the Turner syndrome. Turner syndrome, here we have a missing chromosomes and the sex chromosomes. Also, we have one of the chromosome is missed here. It has only one X. So Turner syndrome, it's called 2n minus 1 equal 45, comma, XO. The meaning of XO, X0, let's say. أنا بسميه إياه X0 since they have a missing chromosome. They have only one X. It's a male or
Yes.
female. It's for a male and it has a missing chromosome in the gonosomes. So this is the Turner syndrome. This is everything till this session. Next session, we will continue related to the karyotype and we will talk about the abnormalities affecting the sex chromosomes and abnormalities affecting the structure of the chromosome.